Several Cincinnati Reds are all getting red hot at the same time. Whose momentum do you believe in more?
You are Locked On Reds, your daily Cincinnati Reds podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi, I'm Jeff. He's Steve. And on today's Locked On Reds podcast, that is brought to you by Game Time. By the way, download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use the promo code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. We will be talking a little bit later on about how the Reds just need to survive these next 3 games with the Milwaukee Brewers coming to town, and we'll tell you how they're going to do that a little bit later on. In just a few minutes, we will look at Chase Burns and decide whether or not, which we will tell you why, it's probably time to at least sit him until the All-Star break, or at least skip one start here or there. There are a couple of signs as to why. But we will begin with the momentum, the positive momentum that the Cincinnati Reds are building, because the Reds beat the Yankees 2 out of 3. The Reds have won back-to-back series since the end of April. That's the first time they've done that. And they're looking better. And they're doing that thing like they did last year. And we thought maybe they would change a little bit. Maybe they would take a step forward a little bit. But honestly, this feels like Groundhog Day in that they are doing exactly what we want them to do, albeit in the most frustrating ways possible, because now it feels like they're starting to claw their way back up. And there's a couple of guys that are really spearheading that because they're just getting hot right now.
Yeah, you look at this team, Jeff, and, you know, I threw it in when we did the live show on Friday. I was like, or maybe they'll just go do that thing they do in New York. And
why not?
They did. Ty Steve's homering. Sal Stewart's an RBI machine. You look at Chase Burns doing his thing. Spencer Steer with his little league triple in yesterday's game. Like, it was just, a lot of fun to watch. And, this team, Jeff, this team constantly makes my life be that meme where it's like, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in, and they pulled me back in with this series against the Yankees.
Who's pulling in the most? Who's doing it?
I'm wrestling right now because I want to believe in the return of Tony Santillan, and he goes out and gets the 2 inning save. He's looked good. He hasn't walked anybody. I need more. I need more to even be remotely close to believing in it. I think Sal Stewart is who I believe in the most right now. I think that we've seen him, come out like gangbusters. We saw the league try to adjust to him, and we saw Sal make adjustments on that to get back to this form. So we've seen that he has the ability to do that thing that major league hitters have to do, which is continually adjust to the pitchers. And that was a question that we had. Would he be able to do that? Well, thus far, the answer is yes. I believe in what he's doing. I believe in what the results are. I believe in the momentum that he has.
He absolutely went off on Saturday, and I'm with you. I really love what he has done. He's a guy that at the end of the season, I don't feel like, and I think he's going to have a real good shot at Rookie of the Year. But like when we look at his WAR total, and this is why we say that WAR is a good beginning point to understand a player's value, not the end-all be-all. But his WAR total is not going to reflect how good he really is, because defensively the metrics just don't love him, but he goes crazy with the bat. And I shudder to think, I said this on Saturday, what this lineup would look like if he wasn't here, especially during the absence of Ellie, but albeit in like all total, how much he has brought to this lineup. And he showed why in this series. Spencer Steer was also a big part of this. And yeah, I get it. They didn't face Garrett Cole on Sunday, but you know what? You still got to win. And we've seen this Reds lineup go to sleep against no-name pitchers before, and Elmer Rodriguez is kind of like a more highly touted prospect for the Yankees. So that was a little bit of a welcome sign that they were able to score runs against him. And so Sal is definitely a dude. I am buying what Tony Santillan is doing, Steve. And I think that there is something to this. His velocity is up, first and foremost, which is great. the whole deal about he was coming on slow in this season. He was trying to build up. He was trying not to go too hard, too fast, all that other stuff. I think that kind of messed with him a little bit. And he's caught back up to where he should be. His fastball in the last couple of outings is back to averaging around 96 miles an hour. That slurve looks tight, looks like he's locating it where he wants it. He's not like leaving it in the middle of the zone, and he's not leaving his fastball in the middle of the zone, which is what he was getting clobbered with. But he also hasn't walked anybody. And I even do this because I think everybody's like, well, yeah, but Tony Santillan has given up so many runs. It's crazy. First of all, he's dropped his ERA exponentially over the last little bit here. I mean, nobody on the team has dropped their ERA more than Tony Santillan. So I just want to start with that. But also in his last 11 appearances, if you want to go with ERA, which we try to caution people against when it comes to relief pitchers, but if you want to go with ERA, his last 11 appearances, his ERA is 3.6. And you kind of feel a lot better about that. And so ultimately, I think we are getting Tony Santillan back to where we want him to be, and I buy this.
I'm not wild about saying that yet. Strikeout totals, last 7 appearances, he's got 6 strikeouts, so a little less than one per appearance. Seven games, 7 innings, 3 saves, 0 runs. So the last week's worth of games, his last 7 games have been dynamite from my results perspective. I don't think he's overpowering anybody. And the Tony Santillan you're talking about, Tony Santillan's back, that Tony Santillan, he's not here yet because he's not overpowering hitters. Now, he's limiting solid contact. He's letting the defense work behind him. He's missing barrels. He's doing good things for a relief pitcher to do. I just don't want to proclaim his return too early, and then we get egg on our faces a little bit.
I'm very excited about the fact he got 6 outs in less than 20 pitches. I love
cautiously optimistic. That's what I'm willing to say about Tony Santillan.
Okay. I'll tell you this, though. Another dude that I'm really excited about his momentum right now is Blake Dunn. And I get it. He dropped that ball a couple of games ago, and everybody's like, oh, boy. All right, the wheels are going to fall off. Well, they haven't. Dude's still getting on base like
you were ready to send him down, weren't you? Weren't you ready to send him down when he
did not say that?
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Did I imagine that? I don't know. We'll have to check the group chat.
We can talk about Matt McClain going down. But no, when it comes to Blake Dunn, no, I did not say that. Because I've been very happy with what he has been doing. And this Reds team, as much as I would love to see Ellie De La Cruz hit leadoff, they don't have anybody else that they're going to put in the leadoff spot, so might as well be Blake Dunn. And Blake Dunn has really taken a hold of those reins.
Yeah, his last 15 games, Jeff, like roughly 64 at bats, 297, 357, 391, 1 home run in that stretch. He's never been known for his power, but he has established himself at least as Mr. Leadoff hitter right now. Now, when Ellie comes back and they'll slot him in the number 2 spot, I think that only helps. Blake Dunn. I think he gets, much more pitches to hit. I kind of like what Blake Dunn has been able to do. And really, for me, he's probably the biggest surprise of the season as far as guys that, are performing in a way that we didn't really anticipate. We thought maybe he would get a look. We thought that he was going to be one of the next guys up. We thought, if we're lucky, he'll come up, he'll be able to contribute a little bit. I certainly didn't have him establishing himself as a leadoff hitter of the team. Did not see that coming.
No, he's low-key essential. Like,
yeah.
Are we calling Blake Dunn essential at this point?
Yeah, I think we are.
Crazy to think. But
especially when you combine it with the fact that the total collapse of TJ Friedl, we thought, that, he would adjust somewhere, and he never did. It just a total collapse. So, it could not have been more timely for Blake Dunn to decide he was going to be a dude at the big league level.
That still baffles me. I mean, you look at his stats and they're starting to right the ship a little bit, but I mean, he's still hitting I told you that TJ Friedl was slashing 262, 348, 492, you'd say, man, he's doing pretty good in the major leagues. That's what he's doing in AAA. And I mean, those are fine numbers in AAA.
Feasting. He should be feasting on AAA.
He's striking out 23% of the time in AAA. Anyway, sorry. TJ Friedl bit over. There's still a couple of guys that were hot there this weekend, and love the momentum that they're putting together.
Now, there's one more guy we should probably talk about of if you believe in their momentum or not, and that is Edwin Arroyo. Do you believe in what you're seeing from him now? Has he done enough that we're ready to say he's staying on this team when Elly De La Cruz comes back? I think that he has, and I think it's just a question of who are they going to send down, and I think that you may finally have to retire the one-man pumper car because I think it's going to be your guy, Will Benson.
Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit ever since Elly De La Cruz hit the IL and Arroyo came up. We thought initially maybe Matt McLain, but Matt McLain's played well enough, I think, to stick. But so is Arroyo. Arroyo's played well enough to stick as well. And you could just put Spencer Steer in the outfield and you're good to go because they have plenty of outfielders on the roster at the moment, albeit you can debate their merits and stuff. But at the same time, like Spencer Steer has been well enough in the lineup that, yeah, if you stick him in left field, you feel fine about that. Will Benson did not get a start this weekend, Steve. And he's not been in a game in a minute. Like I would have to look at his game log to tell you the last time that he played. And that's kind of a bummer. And I think that is the Reds telling us he's the next move. And Edwin Arroyo has done well enough to stick up here.
Yeah, in his last 15 games, Edwin Arroyo's had 42 at bats, 262, 333. He's slugging 310, but he's not a slugger. He
just missed a homer. He was this close to hitting a homer off Elmer Wright. It was foul just by a foot.
Almost only counts in horseshoes, buddy.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that's enough, though. What I'm saying is that's enough to keep him around, because if you compare those statistics with what Will Benson has done, Edwin Arroyo gets the edge, even though it's a small sample size. So, if I'm ranking these guys in order, I believe the most in Sal Stewart. I believe in that momentum. I'm cautiously optimistic about Tony Santillan. I'm hopeful, I guess is probably the best descriptor that I could use for Edwin Arroyo. I'm hopeful from what we've seen so far, enough to keep him around and work him in the playing rotation. I think that's how I rate those guys, Jeff. And, I just need everybody to kind of keep overachieving, get into that mode, and get Elly De La Cruz back up here. And we should make mention, Elly De La Cruz, 3 games in Louisville thus far on his rehab assignment, 2 hits. Are you concerned that Elly De La Cruz has forgotten how to hit and is not getting it done in Louisville? I am not. And I want to just address that before it shows up in a comment section somewhere. I am 0% concerned about Elly hitting right now.
He's healthy. 2 thumbs up on his health. And that's all that we care about. Can't wait to see him on Monday.
Exactly. All right, Jeff. As fun as this has been with the momentum, we do have some concerns. There was something that we saw in Chase Burns' start yesterday that we need to talk about and come up with an action plan for. Nick Krall, stay tuned. We've got what you need to do coming up next. There is nothing like watching the Cincinnati Reds win a series. God knows it's been a long time since we were able to say that. It's even better when you get to watch it live. The excitement, being around the other fans, being in the ballpark. The only problem, getting the tickets can feel like a grind. Long queues, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's where Game Time comes in. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you can unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price that you see, so what you see is what you pay. Period. Jeff and I tell you about this all the time. We use it every time we head down to the Great American Ballpark. We go to the banks, we grab a drink, we grab some food, and as we get close to first pitch, we jump on the Game Time app, we buy our tickets, we head into the ballpark. It's just that simple. You can take the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Now, terms do apply. Again, just create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. If you've got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find the perfect treat without all of that sugar. That's why Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy Shot brings the nostalgic flavor back in a whole new way. This is the classic cotton candy taste you remember, but with the tasty caffeine boost and 0 sugar. It's quick, it's easy, and it'll satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and keeping you on the move and on the go. I've always loved cotton candy. You can't be eating sweets all day. I've tried it. It eventually catches up with you. This is the perfect alternative. The flavor really does bring you that throwback fruity vanilla vibe of cotton candy, and it's surprisingly smooth. I love them. They're a little shot. I carry them around in my scrubs when I'm at work doing my thing. It keeps me going throughout the day. So you can bring on the sweetness with cotton candy 5-hour energy shots, available online now and at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. You already live this team every single day. Elevate your game. Become part of the Everydayer Club. You're going to get ad-free Locked On Reds over in the audio feed. You're also going to get exclusive access to the Discord server, where it's not just Jeff and I talking ball. It's every single host from every single show, every single sport across the Locked On network. All there for you all the time. $5 a month, $50 a year. The link is down in the show description. All right, Jeff, we are fans of Chase Burns. Chase Burns is going to be an all-star. Chase Burns is in the Cy Young conversation if he were to pitch 32 starts an entire season. That's probably not going to happen, and we're concerned because we saw something in yesterday's start that I hope doesn't become a trend, but it makes me think they need to develop an action plan now, and that is a dip across all of his pitches in his velocity. His velocity was down across all of his pitches in yesterday's start.
Yeah, it was a little over a mile an hour on average down for his slider, just around a mile an hour down on average for his fastball. And I mean, the performance was fine. It's not as if he looked off. In fact, it was noted that was kind of a matchup nightmare for him because Aaron Boone had loaded up the lineup with left-handed hitters because the Yankees can do that. And they're all very good left-handed hitters. And he did a great job of navigating that lineup so well that he only gave up a solo shot. And he even had a pickoff of Anthony Volpe. And Anthony Volpe was not very happy about that pickoff, but it was a pickoff. And there was just a very good performance from him, albeit managing base runners and things like that. But it's the fact that the velo was down. And what we know the plan to be with Chase Burns. He has thrown 100 innings exactly once at a singular level. And that was back in college. As we were looking at it, he's thrown 101/3 innings when he pitched for Wake Forest in 2024. That was when Wake Forest was making a deep run in the College World Series. And so he pitched, more than that across the minors and the majors last season. But as we've said before, innings in the minors are definitely not the same as innings in the majors. And so he is going to go where no Chase Burns has gone before very, very soon. And as that number approaches, the Reds really need to start thinking about managing him personally and making everything else with the roster work. That being said, we should probably think about shutting him down to the All-Star break.
Yeah, I would skip a start. I would skip his next start. And I know that everybody's going, that's crazy talk. There's nobody. I would still figure out a way to do it. You either let Paddock throw, you let Chase Petty throw, you do something different because you're
not the sexy thing, right? But it's the
right.
needed.
No, but you're right. Big league innings are different. It's a lot more wear and tear on his arm than he's ever had before. When he was at Wake Forest, he did throw 100 innings exactly that one season. You look at his 2025 numbers, he threw 108 innings across all levels last year. But remember how the minor leagues are structured for pitchers. They pitch once a week, the way that the schedule works out. They don't go every fifth day. So they're getting more rest. It's taking longer to build that up. I feel like the Reds, it would be very, very smart for the Reds to at least try and skip a start occasionally. Otherwise, I just don't see how he's around come September, let alone a postseason run, because he's going to hit 100 innings before the All-Star break if they do nothing. That's 100 innings in July with half of July to go. I just don't see a scenario where he's available for a stretch run, where he's available for a wild card chase, where he's available for a postseason if they don't take action now in order to be ready then. I know it's crazy talk the way this team has been playing and how things have gone and how the pitching is, but I think you've got to do something.
And you're right. I'm sorry. I said shut him down to the All-Star break. It's a little bit long till the All-Star break at this point, but yeah, at least skip one start and push him back or something like that, because it just feels as though the season is starting to wear on him a little bit. And this is the 1 year where you can do it. At this point, you can't move him to the bullpen. That's not going to help him. And next year, you're not going to be managing his innings. Next year, it's full bore. Let's go. 32 starts every fifth day. Let's have it. This is the last year to really get this right. And you're setting up a strong base for his career. The whole point here is not, well, the Reds have so many pitchers they can do this. And that's going to be the hard part, is that the Reds have to be honest with themselves here and protect Chase Burns above winning ball games. And that's an annoying thing to make that decision. But if winning ball games jeopardizes Chase Burns' career, then what value are winning ball games now to your ball club? Like I am in camp, protect Chase Burns, because this dude can be an absolute stud for a very long time. You don't want to see him flame out a la Mark Pryor or Kerry Wood or somebody like that, because early on in his career, he was just thrown and thrown and thrown, and they had no restraint whatsoever.
And this is not unprecedented. Even
right.
More recently, the Nationals with Strasburg, his rookie year. I mean, they just hard stopped him.
They were a playoff team.
They were a playoff team, and they did a hard stop. They were like, no, he's done. That's it. So, this is not unprecedented. I think the most effective way to do this would be burn one of his options, send him down for you. When you do a send down barring injury, it's got to be 10 days, right? You send him down 10 days. He skips a start. He comes back and makes a start. You send him back down for 10 days, and you just do a swap between him and Chase Petty or him and whoever it's going to be. And they just keep going back and forth every 10 days to kind of stretch out what Chase Burns is doing to keep him around later into the season.
Because you have guys that can eat multiple innings at this point, at least as long as they don't get rid of Chris Paddock, because we did see that Ken Rosenthal had tweeted out a report, and he said that sources confirmed that the Reds are calling up right-handed pitcher Julian Garcia from AAA. He is a right-handed pitcher, a relief pitcher. He's made a couple of starts, but I think just as like a 1 or 2 inning opener or something like that for Louisville this year, mostly out of the bullpen. But there's no corresponding move here. And there's a part of this that we're excited for Julian Garcia. This is a dude that got drafted in 2016, has never made his major league debut. He's 31 years old. This is like an awesome story, and I really want to see him do well for the Reds. But the reason I'm bringing this up is more so about the corresponding move. Are they getting rid of Chris Paddock, or is this the Reds doing, as you say, taking Chase Burns, giving him a rest in AAA, because you can burn his option. It does not matter. Like, the options do not matter, because he is a guy that will be here, period. He is the ace of this staff, but he is the ace of this staff, and he's kind of in his developmental phase where, yes, he is the most important pitcher on the team and arguably the most important player on the team, but you also have to consider his own personal career development here. And I do not want the Reds jeopardizing that because they think that it's going to make them an 85 win ball club instead of an 83 win ball club.
Yeah, they have to be smart about this. Nick Krall has to take some kind of action and not just sit on his hands. And, what's my confidence level in them doing that? I don't know. I every once in a while they surprise me. Maybe this will be one of those.
See Friday's episode for that.
Yeah.
But I know this, Steve. The Reds have a tough series coming up against the Milwaukee Brewers, and the word of the day is survive. As the Major League Baseball season rolls along, you can trade every single game over on Kalshi, just like with the Reds and the Brewers starting their 3-game set tonight at Great American Ballpark. Brady Singer on the mound against Brandon Woodruff. And right now, market has the Reds at a 40% chance to win tonight's game. But hey, didn't have great chances for the Reds to win in New York either. And if you make a $100 trade for the Reds to win tonight, you get a $239.90 payout when the Reds win. That's all over on Kalshi. There's no house, by the way, over on Kalshi because you're trading against peers in a live market. And as the probability changes on your position, you can trade in and out. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use the code Locked On to get $10 when you trade $10. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 and up only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory. We invite you to continue the conversation with us after the show is over. You can follow us on social media. I am on X and on TikTok at Jeff Carr with 3 Fs. Steve is on X at S. Offenbaker with 2 Fs. And the show is on all social media platforms at Locked On Reds.
Is there any truth to the rumor that for your TikTok, if the Reds can win another series, you're going to join the shirts off guys? What is that called? The tarps off. The tarps off guys. Is there any truth to that? That's going to be your new TikTok thing. Your TikTok
I'm
dance
not
is
trying.
tarps off.
I'm not trying to get banned from TikTok. When it comes to the Reds' chances of winning another series, they are facing the leader of the NL Central, the team they have not played in the NL Central yet. It's weird to see the Reds go this long into a season and not play the Milwaukee Brewers. And yet here we are, the next week and a half, was it like 11 days, I think, they will play the Brewers 7 times. Thank you, schedule makers. But the first 3 get to happen here in Cincinnati. And there are some weird pitching matchups in this series, Steve. This is not a series where we can look at the probable starters and tell you we feel any sort of way, because the Reds aren't necessarily throwing their A squad. But neither are the Brewers either. The Reds are not facing Jacob Mizorowski. The Reds are not facing Kyle Harrison. And in fact, they are facing Brandon Woodruff to start tonight. And starting with him, we have heard that as he is coming up, he has not pitched. I mean, obviously, he is coming back from a rehab outing and all this other stuff. Hasn't pitched in the majors in 2 months. And even during his rehab outing, his velocity was down. And one of the biggest reasons that he went on the injured list to begin with is that the start that he had right before he hit the injured list, his fastball was like 86 miles an hour. And they're saying that the velocity on his fastball right now is still basically that. Like, it's not mid-90s where he was. And we're talking about a $22 million man, guy who got the qualifying offer from the Brewers and took it. And is now just the Brewers faithful are not happy with how much money they are spending on a dude like this.
Yeah, and probably of the series, like, I would love for the Reds to come out and just spark some momentum and just get all over Woodruff and then just score a bunch of runs and win that first game. Just the Brewers are in the Reds' head. We know this. They're in our heads. They're in their heads. The Reds
100%.
need a momentum changer, motivator, whatever you want to call it. This is a perfect game to get that done. The way a couple of these guys have been playing, and the fact that they're facing Woodruff in his first game back from the injured list, I really need them to get things rolling.
And Singer's looked better as of late. Like, I was talking to some folks the other day about this. I feel like the Reds lineup needs to treat Brady Singer starts like they did in 2023 whenever Luke Weaver started. You remember those games? Like, Luke Weaver had an ERA of like 6, but every time he pitched, the Reds scored like 8 runs. And you do that. Like, whatever motivation, whatever feelings they had in 2023 when that happened, just go back to that. Do that, and we'll feel better about Brady Singer starts. Because if they can take the momentum that they started building with their lineup in these last 2 games in New York and just keep it rolling, they've got a couple of dudes in this Milwaukee pitching staff that they can kind of get up on. They can do that on Woodruff. I feel good about their chances to do that against Shane Drowan. He's had a couple of starts where he's looked suspect. Even though he's a lefty, the Reds are actually hitting lefties pretty well this year. But I think that the Reds have some chances to score. It's just going to be, can the guys on the mound support the lineup. I know that sounds backward. I know normally we're begging the lineup to support the guys on the mound, but this kind of feels like the opposite. This feels like Reds score runs, but Milwaukee might score runs too. And you just got to let them score less.
And limit the damage, right? I mean, you look at the Brewers lineup and, don't let Jake Bauers beat you. Can you confirm, are they bringing Christian Yelich? Is he coming to the...
Probably.
Is he going to be there?
Just for bad vibes. Yeah.
For the love of God, can we not throw him a pitch? If
he's in the dugout, walk him.
Do it. Just don't do it. Resist the temptation. Do not pitch to Christian Yelich. I don't care. I don't care.
If Yelich doesn't start, but Pat Murphy puts him on the on-deck circle to come in, like if there's a relief pitcher or something on the mound that they like to match up with Yelich more than just preemptively, Terry Francona just look at the umpire and go 4. Before he doesn't even need to dig in at the batter's box. Just take your base.
And then there's a couple other boppers, right? I mean, Jackson Chourio is going to have his moments. He's got power. He's going to be able to do his thing. And then
Bryce Terang.
There it is, the second baseman. Yeah, he's another guy. I think those are all three of those guys are double digits in home runs already. Bauers at 13, Terang has 11, and Chourio has 10. So that's their big boppers. Those are the guys that you need to try to limit damage from, and don't ever pitch to Christian Yelich. That is how you win these ball games.
We know what happens when William Contreras steps to the plate. Look, we are damaged by the Brewers, and I don't know if there's a law firm out there that can help us out with this, but I just want to admit it. And I feel like admitting it is the first step, because there's been years past where we have tried to proclaim the demise of the Milwaukee Brewers. We're not doing that. We're genuflecting at this point. I think that we should get some karma for this, and I don't know, maybe it'll help the Reds win if we just say, look, the Brewers are good, man. They're a good organization. They got a good manager. They got a good team.
They know how to win. They know how to win. And on that note, Jeff, that's where we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Thanks as always for making Locked On Reds your first listen each and every day. If you have not done so, and I don't know why you wouldn't have at this point, but click that subscribe button, click that notification bell. Make sure you get every single show we've got coming your way. You get us on the mothership here, Locked On Reds, Monday through Friday. You get Tim Daniel after each and every Reds game live with the postcast, and you get anything special we drop in along the way. So click the subscribe button. For the audio folks, go check out Locked On MLB. 3 shows in that feed to give you your baseball fix. You've got Locked On MLB with Sully covering baseball from a national perspective. You've got former Reds reliever Mike Stanton down there at Back to the Bullpen telling you about things from a player's perspective. And of course, you've got MLB Game Night. They watch every single game, every single night, so that you don't have to. For the video folks, we're going to send you over to Locked On's first ever 24/7 national YouTube channel, where all of the experts of the entire network are talking ball 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We will be back in your feeds tomorrow, gathering up all the news, the notes, the rumors, the reports, and the information to keep you locked on Reds every single day.
Look, do we need to make a sacrifice to the BABIP gods or something? Because I'll do it.
Man. And listen, I'm not joking. If they throw one pitch to Yelich, I'm going to lose my mind. Just enough already with Yelich.